Hello and welcome. You're here with Sandra Stamp and Craft Studio, and I am Sandra, and I am with you every Wednesday at 9 and Sundays at 8 p.m. They're the UK times. I do have people come in from abroad as well. So welcome. Now tonight I was chatting online with one of my my lower team member, my level 2 team, and she said, "Well, did I live?" And then she said, "What?" She said, "What are you making?" And I said, "Oh, what would you like to see?" So I'm doing a project for her. So I am doing a different type of fancy fold. Now, one of my customers showed me one of these she'd made for a wedding, and it's a beautiful card, and I've never made one like that. So I thought, right, let's have a go, shall we? So I'm ready for you this evening, and I have got things planned, and I know exactly what I'm doing, which makes a change. Hi, Carol, I'm in the right place. That's good. So let me get you down onto the table. Maxine, this is for you. Okay, I'm going to move you across. Okay, I'll leave the screen there so I can see what's going on. So hi, so we've got a few things going on today. It is definitely a different fancy fold, and it's also going to get a different tool out. So I'm going to do that straight away just to show you. Oh, so I've got a different tool. You haven't seen this one before. Well, you might have seen it before, but not. Oh, wrong way. Outwards. Okay. Hi everybody. More coming in now. So this is our Simply Scored here. Look, number 1, it's the Simply Scored scoring tool. Okay, and then you've got a metric plate as well. So it actually comes. It's got glitter all over here. I haven't had glitter out today. It comes in inches, but then you can add on the metric plate. It's in the catalogue. So that's all on page 145. It's really handy if you are doing lots of boxes or lots of scoring with lots of measurements along the whole thing. So it's good to know that's still there. It comes in inches and it's got a metric plate that you can add on. When I use it, I love it. I don't use it often enough. Now at the bottom here, we have a stylus. So this is really handy. And all I'm going to do today, I have got everything beside me off camera. Look, I'll just move you over a little bit. I had a piece of paper here. Now these papers, I'm going to just walk you through these first. Some of you know these and some of you don't. So these are some gorgeous, there's the 3 designs. You've got a bigger piece on that one, so I have that one. These 3 designs were a set of papers called Christmas Time is Here. They dated back, I believe, to 2019. They weren't in a catalogue. They were one of the special releases. And you've got 4 sheets of each of these. So there's 12-inch sheets. And there's 12 of that one, 12 of this one, and 12 of this one. And on the backs, you have fir cones on here, but these could also be non-Christmassy sets. So these are the backs. Now, these have been ridiculously cheap. Anyone in the UK on here, they were £13 back in their day. And they're now £5.20. And you do get 12 sheets of foiled papers. So all of these are foiled. You can probably see on here. You'll see these come up a little bit later. So they are retired for us, but this will work with any DSP, any papers. Yes, Maxine, they are absolutely gorgeous. I have done a whole suite of projects that I'm doing as a bumper tutorial. Just working on a new template, and then they are kind of, some bits are in there, but it's not ready to go yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to concertina this across. So I'm going to score this on the metrics. I'm going to go at every 1 centimetre. Now you can't hold that in the end there, so you have to be very careful. Push it, butt it up and into the corner, and then I'm going to cross my hands. I only want the small ball tool, so I'm going to use this one. And it is, at the end of the day, it is paper. So I'm going to treat gently. I want it enough, scored enough, but I don't want to pierce through. Our papers, having said that, are very substantial. So I've done a couple there. So now I'm going to go along here. So just put a sensible amount of paper. And I use it as I was writing with it. If you stab it down and go this way, you know, vertical, you're going to risk putting more pressure on and tearing it, which we don't want to do we? So this is just going to be concertinaed on here. So I'm going along the whole strip. And all I did was cut a 10 centimetre length off the paper. So it is 12 inches long. If the end doesn't reach to the end, you can make it as long, make it a little bit shorter. but it's entirely up to you. But I thought for ease tonight, I'm just going to go the whole length and see how it looks. Okay, and there we go, and there we go, and then you will end up with a little squitty half centimetre there, because we are 12 inches, but we are 30.5 centimetres. Yeah, 12 inches, 30.5 centimetres. So that's all I need on here. Put the tool back away, put that back on my chair. So we're going to start by concertinaing this. I do want the pretty paper on the outside, so we're literally going to go like you would making a fan in your school days. So instead of flicking it over, I'm just trying to just turn it so I don't make you dizzy. So, hi Angela, you've seen these papers. Yeah, there's here in the UK. I think I'm clearing the warehouse out myself, and obviously a few people that know what I've been doing. The tutorial's going to be fab. Some of the things I have done before, but some are brand new. And it's just a fabulous tutorial. I just wanted to, when it came out, I thought with the state of the economy here at the moment, I wanted to help people to save some money on their Christmas supplies. And if a pack of paper can be that cheap, you know, you can afford to use more and maybe make more cards to send and send cheer to everybody. So I'm just folding this up like you would normally on a fan. So going back to, I think, primary school days, that'll be, won't it? We can shorten this at any point we want. So, but I'm starting off the whole length because I think I'm going to need most of it. Okay, we've got everything out tonight. We've got the glue gun out. We've got the heat gun. I've already done that piece for you. So you've got the heat gun, the glue gun, the scoreboard that you haven't seen very often. What else will we have? We'll have several things. So that odd little ½ centimetre, I'm actually going to grab the big scissors and chop that piece off. I can see where the line is with my glasses. And I'm just going to cut that little piece off just to make it look even. Just on the inside of that last ridge. There we go. That will go in my scraps because you've seen the scrappy card done with those as well. Okay, so there we are. We're all concertinaed. Now that is an important part of our card. Okay, so I'm going to zoom you out again now. Come back into the table. There we go. So that is going to be an important part. Pop those away. So my card. We have choices to make today. I have a base card here. Okay, and I will be cutting a piece off this card. I will be using a couple of matte layers. Now we've got a couple of choices here. We're either going to go for poppy inside with the white, or we could have the soft sea foam with the white, or we'll see later, but we could actually have the paper in there. I was thinking about having this one in, that's not straight down there, about having this one inside and then putting a little plaque on for the sentiment to write on. So the second layer, we will wait because we don't know what that's going to be. I want to straighten those edges up, I think. So let me grab the trimmer. I think I'm going to cut this to the panel that we will need. It won't go to waste because it can be used on another card. So just wonky edges. So even that top one I think is wonky. So this is the straight edge, so let's use that as our anchor. And I'll show you why it's wonky later. Turn that back over. So those two are straight. This wants to be 13.8. By 9.5. Okay, we've taken all those edges off over there, get them out of the way. And we'll leave the inside. We're not going to stick those down, but I'm just giving you some options as to what we could have. So that could be on there, or that could be on the red, or you could mix and match. So those are going to be inside. So we want to put those to one side. We've got that over there. We've got the insides there. We're going to work on this. This is a standard. Hi, Emma. First time you've been on here. Well done. So we're going to work on this front card here. We're going to take off, got a feeling I said 4 centimetres. We're going to make this top piece into a square. Okay, so see, this is 10.5, so I want it 10.5 down here. So the inches people will probably be, the American sizes will be 4¼ so you'd want to make this 4¼ down here. It's not really have to be any specific measurements, but I want to take this piece off at the bottom, so about 4 centimetre ish. So if I put a cross where I want to take off, then what I'm going to do is pop this in the trimmer so I know that's the piece to go. So I've got 10½ this way, whoops, 10½ this way, so I'm going to do 10½ this way as well, and I'm going to put the cutting blade on this line here. So this is where the fold is. So I'll push that into the paper, the card, and go upwards like that. That should be right on that fold. And it is, it's perfect. Okay, if I now turn this way on and bring the blade to the bottom here, I can cut up this piece. So I can just take that piece out. And I can look and see if I've gone far enough. Go a little bit further if not. Oh, just a tad. There we go. I think that's going to come out there. There we go. So, if you see, it's a rather funny straight shaped card. I've got a little bit of fuzz on there, so I'm just going to use my nail block, my old nail block, and off the screen. I don't want dust on the table, and just take a little bit of that fluff off. Okay, if I have to tidy that later, I'll just use scissors. So this is going to be the shape of our card. Okay, so the blade's out of the way. I'm going to end up scoring this from this point here, okay, to the outer corner. So from here to there is going to be scored. So you need to be careful and think twice before you go down. This is my score blade. So I'm going to run that one up there and down again. Make sure that's nice and firm. And we will end up with a score across the corner. Okay, so I think I've finished with the trimmer. That is bugging me, just having that little bit of fluff on there. So I'm just going to grab the scissors and snip that. Because when you've scored something in half like that, you've actually got that ridge down there. So I'm just going to take that edge piece off. Holding my breath as I do it. And then get the snips in. I have snips here somewhere. I don't want to risk it going that little bit further, but I'm just going to take that little bit of fluff off. There we go. There we go, we're gone. That's lovely. So now, because we've got find my bone folder, because we've got this crease going across here, we're going to fold that. So it's kind of gone over all on its own there nicely. So this is going to be, she thinks. No, that is right. That is right. It's going that way. It's going to be an easel. Okay, so it's a twisted easel, so it's going to go that way. So I want this scoring that way. Phew, thought I got it right. So yes, that's going to come upwards that way. Okay, so we are right. Now this piece I've prepared already because my width is 10½. This is 10½ as well. This is 10½ square. So it's going to fill that little hole in there. So what we're going to actually find we're doing is putting our adhesive onto this triangle. Okay, so I have my Tombow here, and I'm going to stick that one down. So on the Cherry Cobbler card, you're going to be able to see that nicely. So Emily watching for the first time, this is the papers we're using tomorrow. So the ladies will be using this tomorrow for the 3D project we've got going. Okay, so there we go, pop that down. And I will let that stick for a little while before I twist that, but I'll leave that just to rest now, but that will come up like so. Okay, so that's that one. Now, the matte layers to go on here, and it will end up with this piece on there, but it won't just be flat. So I need to start making some decisions. Now, in my little box of tricks over here, I don't need that, okay. I have our sentiment. We're going to have this with papers on here, and I've heat embossed that already. Oh, Shaz, you've got company. Let's move those, shall we? Up, come. That's it. She said hello. Okay. Where have I got to? I need to make decisions as to what I'm going to put on the inside now. So you can see that this is going to play a part. We're actually going to have this mounted on here. Okay. So because my card is 10½ and this is 10½, I'm wondering They'll still be fine, be good in this corner. So that's kind of going to play some part, but I want to have a layer behind here. So I am thinking that I might have one of the patterns. I've got the other ones here to go with. I've got that one's off start cut, I don't know that one. Or it could be this one. I think that could look nice. Could look rather regal, couldn't it? Ooh, decisions. But then if I'm going to have this one inside, let's decide on the inside first, shall we? So the inside layer here, we're going to have two different tones. And then for the front, I've actually got some flowers and I've pre-cut some of these. If we go back to these papers here, okay, there's two different sorts. There's this big one with the big leaves coming up here. There was a die in the olden days for that. I have got that set of the dies for people doing it here in class. So that one, and that one are die cut. These ones are smaller and they're a cluster of 3. So these ones aren't die cut. Okay, so they are fussy cut. But when you have a pad of paper, you always get the itty bitty bits round. That's not a full sheet. So we get the bits round the sides. Okay, so we've got lots of bits here. And I'm thinking that this is going to look nice, balanced on the top there. Okay, but I've got some bits to decorate the liner as well. So I've got some of these other pieces in here. So it could be decorating a white piece, but I didn't want it too stark white on the bottom. So we have the decoration. If that was inside, that could work on there, like so. Who's going to be? Yeah, the fan. It's lovely, isn't it? It is a type of fan. It's going to be stuck down. But you see, this would then restrict what you've got for your writing your sentiment on. Okay, so I am kind of thinking this goes with this. And we could have some decoration around the sides of this one using the pieces. So I think I'm going to make that decision and go with that. So I'm not gutting this tonight because I've not brought anything to the table to gut with. But you know I normally gut all my layers that are hidden in the middle. So could cut a nice big die out of that and then put it in the packet so that we can use that on another project. Okay, it's all hidden, no one's going to see it. Okay, you will see the bottom piece coming out from the bottom. So that's going to be under here, and that's why I've got a sentiment on here. But we haven't finished with the decoration on here. So we'll pop this one in as well. You don't need another sentiment on the inside this time, because it's going to be seen both in and out. Okey-doke. So those on there. So that's got those. So we'll come back to decorating afterwards, but we can put some of these little pieces. We could even have something along the bottom and then have the sentiment. When this is closed, we could have this sitting over the top. So you've got some decoration. So it's not just a plain stark white piece, but you're going to have room to write on there. Okay, it doesn't matter which pieces we use. If you're not seeing much of it, we could fussy cut that one and just have it. I like this poking out actually. We'll end up with that one, I'm sure. So that's how it's going to look on the inside. We'll have some more pieces on here. So that's for the inside. So the front here, I'm now going to test this because we've left the glue to set. It's a bit like a shape of a teepee when we do the teepee card. Okay, so with all easel cards, we're going to need a stopgap. We're going to need something on here. It's not too tall, but it's enough to be able to stop from sliding. So guess what? I've partially cut one of these for you. So this was just one of my scraps left over. Okay, there are some other little flowers as well. Again, you've got edge pieces, so you could cut round some of these. I've mostly cut round this one, just fussy cut. And as you know, I make the scissors do the work. So I'm coming up to the camera here and just coming round that last piece, turning the project in my left hand and keeping the scissors snipping as I go. Okay, it's not the scissors going in and out. The scissors stay still. It's a lot easier to fussy cut. Okay, I would normally cut this away from the other piece, but there's other flowers on here that might be useful in the future. Okay. There we go, and round there. So that is my stopgap, okay? And because I partially cut it and I knew where it was going to land, I have already put some foam pads on the back there, okay? The lighting's a bit different today because I was trying to use the side lamp. We're having a bit of bother at the moment with the electrics. The last 2 days, we've had flashing lights, and literally, I mean, these big floodlights, table lamps, the one in the hall, the one beside where I sit in the lounge, everywhere has been flashing like chronically. So we have reported it yesterday, and we put it down to the storms, but there's been no storms today, and it's still doing it. So a bit of not so funny, but a bit of a story. The other day, I had somebody, probably a week or so ago, 2 weeks ago maybe. I'm just wondering which way is going to be easiest. This is standing up on its own at the moment, but we kind of don't want it to droop. So we want it to stand somewhere where, just like that on the corner. It won't be on its lonesome because we will have other things there, but that is my stop to keep my easel card up. Okay, so it's a 3D. It's going at different angles and it's twisted over at the back there. Okay, so you can see all of that. Someone is visiting me. Yes, she was, bless her. She comes in, Emma, she comes in most recordings, she'll be in there somewhere. So I think we've got all of those bits done that I need, just those bits for the front. We're going to make our fan now. So the fan piece, but you see this will have, let's put this on here, because I think that will just offset that a little bit. We want it to not be so plain. Can't have plain things. So I love this technique with the papers where you've got pattern papers. You can fussy cut. You know I'm a fussy cut queen. I'm just lining that straight edge of the edge of the paper up with the edge of the white card. Okay, this can then have these dimensionals taken off. I just did this ahead of time just to speed things up. I'll walk you through what we do. I'm sure you've all done heat embossing. So on here, I have wiped it over with the Dust Buddy, stamped it with Versamark. The greeting was here, and I stamped it with the Versamark pad, and then sprinkled over the gold powder. And then just going to centre this in the centre, yeah, left to right, top to bottom. There we go. And that just gives enough decoration just peeping out there that it's not going to be on its own and just a bit too stark. So now we're going to go over to here. Once we've built this, we will then work out whether we need another layer behind here or not. Okay, so this is going to fit. We're going to glue this together and it's going to come into the corner, and I have a hot glue gun ready. This is the right length for this card, but I'm now thinking I need to actually guillotine a little piece off here, because my measurements, I've gone to the right length, but it's obviously because the end bit here is going to pivot round, it's going to make it a little bit wider. So I'm going to pop all of this in here. Hopefully it won't tear, but I'm going to add this onto 1/2 centimetre. I'm going to grab some Scotch tape. This is another new technique you haven't seen me do before. Bring that out a little bit. Come on, out you come. There you go, then you can see. I've got some Scotch tape here, and I'm just going to put, because this is all ridged, I don't want it to tear. So I'm going to put this on 1/2 centimetre and sellotape that down. Okay, I'm going to take another piece here. I bought a new dispenser today, so that because the other one's a bit flimsy and it keeps 1/2 centimetre is there, and it keeps yeah, it just keeps falling over. So I've got a handheld one that you can just squeeze and it'll just cut off when you let go. So that's ready to come in here. So I'm just lining that up on the 1/2 inch down the bottom, 1/2 centimetre down the bottom. So hopefully that's not going to bulge too much. I am going to be careful. Okay, but I will make sure that this piece I've taped down is the piece on the inside, not the outer edge. Okay, so I can leave that on there. This will all come off like so. And that can go down. So that's how you can rectify it if you need to. I'm just making sure there's no Scotch tape left on there. Just going to run this back together again. It's going to be quick and easy because I've already done it a couple of times. I'm just pulling that back. Just squeeze it together, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. I'm absolutely loving these papers, I really am. and they're such a good bargain for everybody. So I'm, there you go, they're bouncing out a bit. There we go. I'm just going to pop a little bit of glue in between these. So just on the insides, and then I'll go back and do the other side. Just touching a tiny little dot on each of those. I didn't bring my bulldog clip to the table, did I? I might just have to get up and get one. I thought I was so organised today. I'm going to push them all together, and I want that to glue together, okay? Then I'll hold that. I'll just go and get a bulldog clip. There we go. So I've got just a spring bulldog clip here. So I'm going to clip that on there for a minute. That's going to just hold that till that sets, and then we'll turn it over and we'll do it on the other side as well. Okay, you love them too, especially that page and the smaller rose print. Yeah, they are beautiful. I say some of them are fussy cut and some of them are die cut, so we have that to go. So while this is just setting a little bit, I'm going to see whether we want another piece of paper under here. Because we've got some of this one, I'm going to decorate this more. I'm wondering if this might look nice to continue that theme coming through. To have the soft sea foam underneath, and then this coming over the top, because they're all variegated. Or do we want to go something different and put the fir cones underneath it on there? You're only going to see the top corner really, or the red, this one. That's a bit too wishy-washy. No, discard that one. Or this one. I think that might be more classy actually. I think we'll do that one. So I want this to be, we've got here, we have 10.5 centimetres square, so 10.5 times 10.5. So my next layer I want to be 10 times 10. Okay, for the second one. Okay, and we could go the soft sea foam and then this one. I don't think we want too much on there because it's going to be busy enough. So we're going to go 10 by 10. Okay, so we're going to cut this down here at 10. Turn it and cut it again at 10. Okay, so those can go to one side. All of those pieces get used. Honestly, they do. When you get a paper you really love, you use every morsel. So I'm going to pop that on the top end. This is the same width as this soft sea foam. So we'll stick that one down. The green looks good. Thanks, Maxine. Okay, just cover that well because it's been embossed that side. It's got the gold foiling on it. So if it's got some shininess to it, then you kind of want to put a little bit more on because it doesn't stick so well to the shiny bit. So if you do a little bit more, it will catch in the places where the gold isn't. Okay, so just press my bone folder over that. Okay, now this should be okay for me to turn over and do the other side now. So we've got the different sides in here. Can you see on the camera? We've got these inside pieces now. So I'm just going to come over those. I'm only putting a little tiny dot, the Tombow. If it's already stuck together, then yeah, I don't need it on those. Some have gone better than others. There we go, catch my breath. And again, I'll just squeeze that for a little while. So while that's holding on there, it's that way up, but yeah. I'm just going to put a few more pieces around the edge here. Now, when I said about the edges, I did mean literally edges. Look at this. We don't need a lot, but you can place them wherever you like. And these are the pieces from literally around the edge. So I could shorten that and just come off there. I think that might balance nicely. So let's just take that off. So these have already, I sat in front of the telly the other night watching a Christmas movie, I think, and I was just cutting a few of these out. I haven't put my glasses down, but I think that's all right. That's fine. So that little piece is the only piece wasted. Okay, and we'll put one there and one there. Okay, so they are complete phrases, if you like. They finish nicely. So I'm just going to grab my tweezers turn them over. Yes, well done, Maxine. Have a go at it. It's good. So for Emma on here, the Maxine has just today done the project that your ladies are doing tomorrow. So you can get to know each other a bit. So, oh yeah, she's made that. So small world, but it's a good project. It's a 3D. It's a little bit different. Okay, I like that. And you've still got some nice room in here to write your greeting. And there's going to be the easel, that's going to be held up on there. Okay, so we're kind of nearly there, aren't we? Now, I need to just plug this in. I had warmed up the glue gun. It just needs to heat up again. So it has gone stone cold. Never mind, we'll get there. So all we're left to do now is to put this on here, that way up. Okay, we'll glue this down, and then I've got a flower to go on the centre. Now, what we're going to need to do here is be quite gentle with it. We're going to pull these out. We want it to be stuck in the middle bit here. Okay, and then, so underneath here, and then I'm going to run some along, just a little bit along those edges, so that we can catch it down onto the paper, and it's going to pivot from that corner. So if you do this, you do want that I trimmed that paper down to 9.5 centimetres, not 10. Okay, so it has come down that little bit. Okay, so just being mindful of that. If you're going to make it, don't start at the beginning of the video. Okay, I'm going to just grab this now. As soon as this heat gun, the glue gun heats up, I think it's going to be a little while. Okay, any questions while we're waiting? Okay, I'm not going to keep this little strip I've just concertinaed off. Had it been straight, then I would have done. But when it's all concertinaed, I can't really do much with that. But I've got time just to have a cup of me hot OXO. Or not so hot. I took a Zoom call literally just before I came on here. So luckily I was ready. Hello. Oh, Mummy's put the trimmer on the chair. There you go. We've got to wait for a heat gun to there we go, look. Say hello to everybody. There you go. So that's Smudge. She normally comes and pays a visit, doesn't she? So yeah, just the heat gun we're just waiting for at the moment. It just needs that glue, just needs to get there. So yes, I've kind of like got too far ahead now, haven't I? I've done well for time. So the heat embossing was the only thing really I'd prepared and cut the layers for you. But I think you've got everything you need, and we will be sticking that down on there. And this one I thought was a nice straight edge to go along the edge of the card. And once this is all adhered, I thought that's going to look really nice on there. And again, I'll catch that with the glue gun. So, yes. Shaz is saying hello. You can have some treats later. The whole of my craft room here, the tables are all covered. There's orders at the end. There's bits in progress on different tables. And she has just jumped on at the end, and she's now walking down the whole table, and you can see her shadow, and she's going to come and sit. No, you don't want any to stick your head in my mug. Hey. Yes. Good job. We're waiting for the heat gun to the glue gun to heat up. Yeah, that's hot, lovey. You're going to get your whiskers stuck. Come on, off the table. Oops. On that. There you go. Right, I think we are getting there. It's getting warmish. Let's get a piece of scrap paper and see if I can. That's just an old scrappy bit. So I'll see if that squeezes out. It's not really hot yet. It needs a little bit longer. While I'm waiting, I will just show those of you who saw my card the other night. These were the new papers that are coming out. So what I did do when I was off air, these are the cards we made with the panoramic view, and they're embossed as well. Yes, 19. What's 19, my dear? She wants to make a card, I know. But what you didn't see me do was the envelopes, okay? The piece that was left over, the strip of paper that went along the bottom here, I wasn't big enough to cover the flap on the envelope. So I got a piece of the cardstock and put that across and then I put the paper up to it as far as it would go, and then I don't like the join here, so I put a slither of paper across there just to hide that join, and that just finishes that off really, really nicely. Okay, and then, oh, the springers, sorry, yeah. And then the same on the yellow one as well. So I had, this was a piece of paper across the bottom. Okay, I didn't emboss that one, this was all embossed. And then the yellow card and the join across the top then. Okay, so that's, I just left them out for those that who might not have seen it. Right, we're going to go for this now. We're going to, we want the glue at the bottom corner here, and then we want to just catch it along these edges. So I'm going to put some along here. I'm just squeezing this out. Stampin' Up! Don't sell a glue gun, so it is a case of grabbing one from your DIY store, your craft store. Okay, and I'm just going to pop some little strands down here. So I'm just squeezing that through. Okay, it will dry extremely quickly, and I mean extremely quickly. So I might have to go over that blob on the end there again. Just roughly, just dust that over the edges there. Okay, and then another blob over here. We do want it to adhere nicely. Okay, and then I'm going to turn it over. I'm aiming at this corner first. So this is where we're going to pivot from, and these ones will come to the edges, and that one will come down here. Okay, so if they're evenly spaced, it might be that the front and the back I need to just get a little bit more glue under. Okay, and then we're just pressing it down. I'm just laying my hands on it to press it. Okay, just looking at those sticks, I wonder if they were the cold glue gun. If anyone can enlighten me, the difference between the hot and the cold glue guns. I got a feeling these were the cold ones, so they don't get the heat temperatures that the others do. Okay, just along there. But we're going to cover up that little join on the bottom there anyway. So this one has definitely got a loose piece here. So if I just put some of this, I want to get a cordless one, because a cordless would be much better. Pop that little ridge on there. There we go. So they will now be adhered down. This will be adhered down. So this was the biggest piece to get on that corner. Okay, so this card would need to have a box. You wouldn't be able to post this out. Okay, so at the moment we've got the fan. We lift this up and it comes across like so. So then your card is 3D with the fan on it. Okay, so once that's down, we then need to pop this on the bottom here. Okay, so this needs to just run along the bottom. I'd like it to cover that join, this piece here, so where that leaf is. So I'm going to take out that little tiny leaf on the corner. You are your own artist, so you can be creative in whatever way you like, depending on what die cuts or what papers you're going to use. Nobody would know that that little leaf wasn't there now, okay, because I just wanted that to be on that corner. And what I think I might do actually, if I have that on an angle, it would look better because these will be in, and then this little piece needs to come out as well. Okay, so just using my artistic license, I'm going to decapitate this little bit. But bearing in mind, this is recycling pieces from the edge of the card, the paper pack as you get it. Okay, so I'm just taking that tiny little bit off there, just fussy cutting around those edges. Okay, hope you can see me on here on the camera. I'm just off the screen, aren't I? Just whiz that round. And I want to come up to this end fern, and then I will come off there. But now, because of this white piece in here, I feel it just needs to be shaped in there a little bit. Pivot it round. But obviously if you've got die cuts, that would do all of this for you. I'm just using the papers I had out on the table. Okay, so that little gap's gone now. So now we can kind of like angle that and cover where we want to cover. Okay, so again, I just need to put some of this over this area. Okay, so I'm going to put some down onto that corner and just wipe some over the tops. Okay, as long as there's enough to hold it on there, we will be fine. Okay, I've not gone up far enough for the glue to be sticking out the ends, just in this little corner. Okay, and I think we'd need some gems on there as well. Berries. So now it'll be a case of which ones we put. I think it's got to be the gold ones, hasn't it? These are the festive pearls, and there's enough sort of shine on here already, really. But I'll put some at the top there, I think. So I'll use these gold ones in this corner and just put a few randomly dotted. Just randomly there, and one over here. Okay, do we need anything inside? I don't really think we do. I think it's quite nice like that because you've got room to write your greeting coming down, and then you're going to turn it like so. Okay, so I think I'm really pleased with that. I've never made one of those before, but it's Maxine's challenge. Hi, Anne. Lots are going tomorrow. Yeah. But these the Rhine's festive pearls they are. So I'm just racking up the edge on that one. Look. But there we go. I hope you agree that that's a really beautiful card. I'll get that out of the way so it can't do any damage. And it stands up on a worktop, so it won't stand up. When these sort of cards, you can't stand them up that way. They are intended to be, easel cards are supposed to stand on a worktop. And I think whoever receives that would be really, really pleased to get that. What I say about these flowers, these papers, you've seen them already, apart from fir cones on one side. You haven't got to have these for Christmas. So these are beautiful flowers and they would do any season. Anything in the autumns they would do. You've got some ferny pieces, but even the fir cones, so they're not really prominent. It's the floral images that are the best. And then of course the other one that I love, love, love is this red, the cherry cobbler with the gold hexagons. Okay, so they all are beautiful, stunning, and they are a bargain. If anybody wants me to get them some, then I'm happy to do that. But obviously the postage is going to be the thing getting them to you. They are 12-inch. So that's the only thing getting them there. Local people obviously can pick them up, or I can drop off if you're local to me. Okay, so I'm pleased you like that. Maxine, that was your challenge. You're pleased? It would make a beautiful anniversary card. Well done. Yeah, definitely. Okie doke. So that's me for tonight. I have got a box planned already. How are we for time? Do you want me to just quickly whisk through a box? Okay, I've got the measurements done. I've got a prototype made, but it will give you the measurements so that you know what to make. Shall we do that quickly? Yay or nay? It's going to be so quick. I need 2 pieces or a piece of card, I think. So we'd make it in cherry cobbler probably. I am going to just whiz it through because I've got it sorted. I've got everything over here. So I'm going to, it have to be a box card for it, you see. So I'm going to cut this. Yes, box, please. Okay, I'm going to cut this quickly at 11.5 centimetres this way. Okay. Oh, no. That's the middle bit. I want 20 centimetres that way. 20 centimetres, yes. 15.5. What did I just cut? Yeah, 15.5 this way. It is just going to be that bit awkward. I need to have this out. So 15.5 is there. Okay, so 15.5 that way and 20 this way. You can screenshot what my measurements are in a sec. So by 20 that way. And each side, this is the base, and each side is going to be scored at 2 centimetres. So the base is going to be more than the bottom, more than the lid. So 2 centimetres on each side. I will show you the maths. These are so easy to work out how to do. And I will show you the maths on another live. But if you were making this card and you wanted to send it to somebody, you would need a box that fits. So this is the base. We'll grab another piece. Had I not cut that at 10, I could have done it. This one, I've got 2, is 14.8 by 19.8. So the 19.8, I do this side, it's the 21. So use your card economically. So 14.8, which is kind of the card size. And this way it's going to be by 19.8. The odd bits are because we need to leave enough allowance for it to be slightly, just slightly bigger. Okay, but then I have the lid shallower. So this is going to be scored at 1.5 on each side. So 1.5, 1.5, 1.5. Hi, Jean. I'm staying longer because we're making a box as well now. You'll love this one. You'll have to go back to the beginning to see the rest of it. Okay, so there is our box. That's our box and that's our lid. So we've got this one slightly bigger, but it's shallower on the sides. It just helps. So I'm going to quickly burnish those ones. I have got my prototype at the back there that I worked out just before I came on air. Okay, so burnished all those. Burnish all of these. Burnish that. And this one. And that's it. So, rules of boxes. We snip the corners up. Now, some people you'll find go 1, 2, 3, 4. I do the two opposites, and I always do the two opposites on the longest side. So I snip up that score line, okay, on all of these two, okay, right to the end, and the two opposites, okay, and right up to that snip there. So now I'm going to poke away that middle piece. I'm taking out of the way, and I'm going to make flower pots. So I'm going to snip that out and out. I call it taper the tabs, but you end up with a flower pot because it's tapered like a flower pot. Okay, so Sandra's saying is taper the tabs. So from the outside, from the inside to the outside. So you're making it a little bit shallower, and that's on each of those. If you tuck the middle section out of the way, it helps you. Okay, and you do this exactly the same on the other end as well, on the lid as well. Excuse me, I'm croaky. I must have a sip of my drink. It's not so hot now, but I'll just have a quick slurp attached to my tweezers. That'll stop me being croaky, maybe. Okay, same here. These are slightly narrow, so we snip these little straight edges. So this is the straight edge. You want your box edge to be straight, not tapered. Okay, so we cut this piece first and cut them straight up the fold. Okay, pop the biggest piece out of the way and you're left with the tab. So taper the tab. Okay, take those away. Again, taper the tab. Okay, middle piece away and tabs out, taper the tab. So you're coming from the inside just slightly, it doesn't need to be a big piece. Okay, just slightly just a little wedge out of there. Okay, now I will just stop and say, some people say about doing a wedge either side of the fold. You want this edge here to be straight. So when I say about cutting straight first, you want it to be straight because when you put glue on there, you want that to come round and this edge will be a perfect square. If you taper either side and you've got two slopes, this edge here will actually, instead of being a crisp corner, it will slope inwards and it won't look so nice. Okay, so that's the reason. So I'm going to get those squitty bits out of the way, and I don't recycle those. They go on the bonfire. So now, easy peasy, each of these corners we're just going to tuck in. And it's easier to glue two together. So you've got this one under, okay, and just hold that one. And then you've got this one under, and hold this one. Okay. So once you've got them lined up and they're nice and square on that corner, you're just going to hold those for a fraction. The reason that you taper them is because you don't want the edges to be poking out over the sides. It makes it easier to get into that corner. And the reason I say do two together is because if you did one and you stuck that down, it's harder to reach this one here. So if you leave this one up out of the way, the second side is always harder. And put glue on both of those tabs. And you're going to bring this one down and hold it. And then turn this one round and hold it. You can do it one-handed. Okay, so this is the lid. Okay, I can leave that to one side while I do this one. So this is the base, and that's a deeper base. Okay, so turn these round. We've got glue on the corner. We bring that in, and it's a perfectly straight box corner. We do the same with this one underneath, and pop that under, and we just hold them down. Perfectly straight corners. Okay. Tombow is one of the best adhesives. You don't need to use much of it. Very sparing. Very sparing with that. So I'm lifting that one out of the way, and we're going to put adhesive on these two corners. Now, is that the quickest box you've ever seen made? Okay, there we go. We're ready. Yes, the box, please. Yeah, that's good. So I wait until these are really firmly set, but this will fit my card. Haven't got an envelope to hand anywhere nearby, but the envelope, there's room in there to have the envelope as well, because the envelope obviously is bigger. You need to cater for this depth. You don't want to squash it. And so now this will sit over the top. Okay, it is a wee bit on the looser side. When I did the one earlier, it was perfectly sized. So I will just check those measurements. I might have rushed and just done them quickly, but I will do those before I put those out electronically. So I won't show you the screens, but I basically just flashed them in. I had those ready done. I will just check if I can get that a little bit tighter. Okay, I might have rushed it too much and got one of the measurements wrong. Okay, but there is our box. If you really want to, you can actually take a half. If you've got a small circle, you could have taken out a little notch out of there, just like a half circle. So you've got thumb holes to lift them off with. But it's quite secure. And then you would obviously put a belly band round, decorate them, etc. I'll do that at some point over the weekend, and then I'll show you the finished. I'll take a photo of the finished article, okay, and put the measurements up for you. Okay, but other than that, that's kind of how you make a box. And then a lid is slightly bigger. Okay, I've got a feeling there might have been one of those was 1/2 centimetre out. Yeah, I'm pleased with that. So there's a box for your card. They fit inside each other like so. Okay, I love how quick you did it. Oh, bless you. Yeah, take that one off, bring you across to me. I will show you the mechanics behind how you make a box, because you can. The grid paper I use is available to customers. It's in the catalogue, and it's available to purchase. A pad of 100 sheets, really good. I've now started writing my measurements on here. I use the fronts and the backs, and I do use them as scrap paper as well. So I keep a nice clean sheet each time. That's that. If you start off with your shape, I will talk you through how I work it out. And how you allow that little tiny bit extra, because the lid is going around the outside of the bottom bit. Okay, so you need to allow that extra bit. It's only a tiny bit. Okay, and I know earlier when I was rushing, I had one that was 1/2 centimetre out. So I think I've done the same quickly in my head. So I will double check for you before I put it out to you. Okay, but that's how easy it is to make one. Then you can obviously package that up, pop it in a jiffy bag, and then send it to the recipient, and they will be over the moon. Okay, so take care. Hope you love that. And don't forget, most of you on here know me really well, but anyone watching on replay, don't forget that the recruiting offer, the join offer, is absolutely fantastic. I've mentioned it before. I will put a reminder post up tomorrow. You've got till the 31st, which is next Tuesday night, I believe. Wednesday's the 1st? Yes, Wednesday's the 1st. So you've got until Tuesday night to sign up under that offer. You basically get more than you pay for. So you're getting over 50% for free if you do the first offer, the cheaper offer. Okay, that's in a nutshell, that's the cheapest way to do it. Okay, the best value way. Okay, but I'll put all of that in a post. Okay, so bye for now, and I will see you again soon. Take care, and I'm back here on Sunday night at 8 o'clock.